Hello and welcome everybody. For this is our second episode, and I've been thinking for the past 2 weeks on what to give you as content and also to give you an identity. And I'm thinking about calling you the Titans, the Tech Talk Africans, and that's how we're going to start this one. I know. And welcome to the second episode of The First Jump. I'm your host, Jesse Leslie from Incubate Africa, where we are crunching the African tech news. And it's been like 2 weeks since we covered the other episode. It's been quite challenging. The other episode we covered had technical issues, so we took it down, and we appreciate everyone that showed us love. Everyone that showed us their participation in giving us their feedbacks. And this week we're going live with video, great audios, and we're hoping maybe next time we'll have a co-host. We don't know. But on to our second episode. This week we've been thinking of not bulking up the data for you people. And for those who've been reading our blog, incubateafrica.net, you've seen a couple of things that have been happening, and we want to crunch a few of whatever we think has been the highlight. However, some of the content it might be picking from other places, because we have to refer with other news so that the content can keep on going, and we keep growing the ecosystem rather than growing also ourselves. And for this week episode, we are at least covering 3 or 4 topics. For the rest of the things, you can go through our blog and just check them. I don't know how many of you people know of Eden Life. Eden Life is a caretaker startup. A caretaker startup meaning that they provide basic other services like laundry, cooking, and that's a peculiar way of approaching employment. And the ecosystem really needed that, because any other thing when you're going online, it's about shopping and it's about deliveries, but not delivering of informal labor. And Eden Life has focused on this. And Eden Life, which comes from Nigeria, has acquired Lynk strategic partnership in Kenya, and they want to focus on the growth of the informal employment for the people. And another thing that we're going to cover is about Masa Finance. Masa Finance is attacking blockchain in a different kind of manner. We know of the formal buy, sell, trade, and stake, but Masa Finance is coming to offer loans to the people. Maybe I don't know how you're called, Kryptonians or what, but basically that's what Masa is coming to do: offer you credit, offer you loans, and see that culture grow. And during our first episode, I think we mentioned about Wasoko. Wasoko is an FMCG, fast moving consumer goods company, and they have been listed in the Africa's fastest growing company for the 2022, and it's a big impact. However, people don't know Wasoko in the rebrand, but they know Wasoko as Soko Watch. Okay, on to Eden Life. As said earlier, Eden Life is a caretaker service scheduling platform, or a caretaker startup. Let's basically say that. You know, the offering of laundry, offering of this, I said earlier in the introduction. Eden Life has acquired Lynk, and something that was puzzling me in in this whole information is Lynk was launched in 2015 and Eden Life was launched in 2019. How does a startup launched in 2019 come to acquire a startup in 2015? Is it that the company has no growth or anything? But according to the title, it says they acquired Lynk for a strategic partnership, basing that Lynk has provided 150,000 job opportunities for the informal persons, and Eden Life being new into the ecosystem with offering, let's say, it's an Uber for the informal persons, the informal laborers, and they are doing it very fast. It's called one tap. And you know, finding a cook, finding a laborer who will come wash your clothes instant is quite hectic in Africa, basically. Some have theirs, but some prefer going somewhere, and that is catering for other people. And when we go to Masa Finance, before we go deeper, Masa Finance has gotten a pre-seed of $3.5 million, and they're working to provide credit unions and credit loans to persons. When you're into the crypto world, there are a few startups that you get to know. There is Sweri and there's Kukuza, which basically they operate on the same model of offering loans and people joining together to benefit from crypto. And Masa Finance, being a South African-based company, not a South African, a San Francisco-based company, the founder really has been active in Africa, offering loans to Kenyans and Tanzanians in crypto form and also in tangible cash form. And him now bringing Masa Finance into Africa to leverage in crypto means a lot. Basically, crypto adoption is on the rise. On to Wasoko. Wasoko is amazing. And many people know Wasoko from their Series B funding, and others know Wasoko from before they branded, meaning they were known as Soko Watch, for those who don't know. And Wasoko's revenue has grown from 34.7 million in 2017 to 3.7 billion in 2020. And after that, they got a rebrand, and they got a Series B funding from Tiger Global and Avenue. That is 125 million. That is earlier this year, for those who have been following the startup news. And Wasoko has grown in a way that many people didn't expect. It has topped the list in the Africa's fastest growing companies. You can go check the blog, go check the news and see other startups. Basing Kenya had over 10, or is it 10? I think, yeah. It had 10 startups. 10 startups on the list, the first one being Wasoko. And it's quite interesting. People are saying Wasoko will become the second or the first Kenyan's unicorn. Yes, unicorn. Wasoko is becoming a unicorn. Will they match with Market Force in the same industry, or they won't? And going to our Crunchy Bit, which is not on our blog, but we've been seeing a couple of things that have been happening. Startups are exiting the ecosystem, and due to a couple of things. We saw SafeBoda exit Kenya, citing that the market was quite a challenge, and this is due to COVID and other things that we don't know, but they cited COVID. And Bolt is now on the verge of exiting Tanzania, saying that the 15% charged on them by the government is a huge amount. Basically, they have to give the government a price, and the same amount, maybe the same percentage, is what they're getting from the drivers. And that is quite a bad business for them. Maybe they have to check out, or they don't have to check out. However, Bolt has requested a meeting with the relevant stakeholders to further discuss the particular matter, with the hope of reaching favorable tariff, commissions, and regulations. And in Africa, the government has to play a bigger head. You remember how Twitter was in Nigeria? Twitter was almost exiting Nigeria until they had to come in an agreement with the government. That's how Twitter is now live. People are not using VPN. I don't know how this will go for Bolt, but let's hope. Maybe next week we'll hear more for those who will tune in. And we hope for more. Give us your feedbacks on whatever topics we've covered and whatever you want us to cover. I've been your host, Jesse, and this is Tech Talk Africa. Bye-bye.